there's a lot of Midwest flavor on this team. I've noticed. Eskridge played like 20 minutes from my house. So,
oh, really?
What's that been like? I'm sure you guys have had some conversations, two players coming from the MAC conference and being able to play in the NFL. What does that say about the quality of play in that conference?
I mean, even besides just us, there's a lot of players in the league that come from the MAC every year. I mean, a lot of players on my team alone, but it's just nice to see. I mean, a mid-major, Mid-American conference kind of just producing at the highest level. And it's cool to see guys have success, and I always enjoy, and I get to, and sometimes like I'll get to, like my rookie year, get to a new team and not even realize somebody came from the MAC, or I come in here and like Valor played at Central Michigan, and it's just kind of cool to see.
Yeah, I forgot about him being a Central Michigan guy. There's a lot of really good MAC players. This is your second camp with the team, I believe, because you came middle of the season the year before. So last year got off to a really hot start, and then unfortunately suffered that injury. Do you think you would have made this team last year if you wouldn't have had that setback?
I don't know. I try not to like look into the past or worry about things like that. I kind of try to control what I can control, and in the moment it was unfortunate, but I mean, I did what I could with the opportunities that I had. But I mean, I'm just glad I'm healthy right now, and I'm just doing everything I can to earn a spot.
You've been getting a lot of reps at the ones here over the last few weeks. Looks like you were right in the thick of things once again to get a roster spot. Where do you think you've improved the most since you joined the Seahawks? Obviously, you're with Kansas City to start your NFL career, but where do you think you've improved the most?
Yeah, I think just it comes along with kind of maturing in the league a little bit. I mean, going into my third year, knowing kind of how the NFL works a little bit in the system, and being comfortable here and understanding the offense and kind of having more of a chemistry with all the quarterbacks, and just kind of understanding the game a little bit more at a more mature level, and just understanding the flow. And like I said, once you're comfortable with the offense, you're able to play and kind of put your own flavor on things, and just be out there and play instead of thinking so much.
Was there anything that you switched up this offseason? I know last offseason, a number of the players I've talked to were like, nothing was normal for us with the COVID situation. And then obviously we're not completely out of this, but was there anything this year that you switched up going into this year, believing that might be able to get me over the hump and get onto this team?
Nothing drastic, I would say. I stuck true to what I know. I mean, I was able to get around and train with some guys more that I play with in college or in the league, and just kind of learning. I'm never a complete player. I'm always learning from guys and from coaches and stuff like that. So I just try to take in as much as I can and try to implement that into my game any way I can.
Last year, a lot of players didn't benefit from the preseason being canceled. Obviously, that was a big loss. But how much does having that showcase now returning this year help a player like you that's trying to get past being a practice squad player to getting onto the 53? And how have you felt about your performance these first two games?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think preseason is important for those fringe guys. That I mean, you can only see so much in practice, and there's only so many live periods, and you're really not bringing guys to the ground, or it's not always a true representation. Once you go out there, I mean, you're playing against other guys that are trying to make the squad, and everybody's out there fighting, clawing, doing anything they can to kind of prove that. And so I think it's pretty important for those guys and guys like me. And I mean, this year the outcomes haven't been the best, but I think I've just gone out there and try to showcase my ability, showcase my talents in offense and special teams the best that I can with the opportunities that I'm given.
The two teams you've played for in the NFL, you've gotten to play for Andy Reid and Pete Carroll, two of the most respected coaches. Having the opportunity to play for them, to participate in practices, get to know them, what is it about those two guys that you think sets them apart from most other NFL head coaches?
I mean, being that those are the two that I've spent the most time with, I can't speak on other coaches or that I don't know, but I mean, just like I talked before about Russ being an ultimate competitor, I think those coaches are too in their own respect, and they've been around the league. I mean, they've been coaching for I don't know how many years combined or individually, but it just goes to show that they're able to adapt with times and learn and bring in guys that believe in what they do, and kind of bring in guys that can kind of bring them to the next level too. Because it's not just them; it's the guys that they put themselves around. But I mean, the two incredible coaches and two of the best to ever do it.
You're going against a bunch of new corners. 4 of the 5 main corners that were on the roster last year aren't here, and they've added several players like Kella Witherspoon, drafted Trey Brown. What's it been like going up against that group? And in your opinion, who is the toughest corner on this team to match up against in practice?
Yeah, it's always a good competition day in and day out. I don't know who's the toughest. They all bring something kind of different. Everybody kind of plays a little bit different. So coming into camp, just like you're just kind of learning how each guy plays. Some guys might do some things better than others, or just have different techniques or ways they've kind of played. So every time you're up there, you might get a different look. It could be the same coverage, but we'll have a different approach at the line of scrimmage or whether they're playing off. So I mean, I think we got a special group, and it's always fun going against them in practice.
Going off that though, is there a type of corner that maybe in the past has given you a little more trouble than say, or a corner that uses a different type of technique that maybe has been a little tougher for you?
Not necessarily. I think it just changes up your technique a little bit on offense. Maybe just with your releases or mid-phase or in-phase or out-of-phase with the route. Just kind of stick true to what you know. You try not to go outside of your game and change things because then it doesn't become normal maybe. So you just kind of stick to what you know and do that to the best of your ability.
So I was looking at researching a little bit because I knew you played some quarterback in high school. So I went back and I was able to look up some of the numbers. And obviously you switched to receiver going to Toledo. But if you had to compare the way you played quarterback to a QB in the league, who does your play style match up with?
I mean, I was kind of like in high school. I was kind of like I was always on the we ran a spread offense. So I was always kind of rolling out, and I was reading like 1-2 or running the ball. I mean, probably like I don't want to say I'm like a Lamar Jackson or somebody, but I was definitely out in the perimeter a lot, running and doing stuff like that. But yeah, somebody's always out there scrambling and running a lot.
I was going to say Lamar, Kyler.
I guess. I mean, I'm not going to compare myself to him in that aspect, but
similar play style.
Yeah.
Have you hit up Shane about a trick play yet with that background?
No, not yet. So, hey, maybe down the road we'll see.
Being a receiver now, especially in this new offense, and a lot of the other players have talked about how intricate that it is. How does having that quarterback background benefit you when you're trying to make this football team?
Yeah, I think it just gives you a different perspective. In college, one of my best friends was Logan Woodside, who's now plays for the Titans, and we lived together for our whole career and spent a lot of time together, and just both of us being quarterbacks, and now he's doing it at the highest level, just being able to understand the quarterback's mental process throughout plays, reading it, what they're seeing, kind of what they're understanding, where they want you to be, when you want to be there, and just kind of helps you visualize what they're seeing from a different perspective or a different angle on the field.
You've got one preseason game left here to continue to prove yourself. What do you think ultimately needs to happen to accomplish your goal of breaking through and being on this roster in week 1?
I mean, not doing anything different, just going out there. It's still the game of football. I still love doing it, having fun, making plays, doing what I've done my whole life. Just go out there and make plays on offense and special teams and leave everything out there. Don't leave any what-ifs or don't leave anything out on the field that I could have said, oh, maybe would have, could have, should have kind of thing. So just leave it all out there.